Hey guys, this is going to be my review on the Muddy Manifest cellular trail cameras. I've had at least 3 of these cameras for 2 years, and 2 of them are probably just about 9 to 10 months old, I would say. I'm going to cut right to the punchline. Would I buy these? Do I give these a good review? Yeah, I would. I think the real key to that answer, though, is what are your expectations? How much money do you want to spend? And just realistically, what do you expect? These are a cheaper camera. There's a lot of hate on these things. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube, read a lot of reviews. I tend to do that before I buy something. And honestly, I'm kind of just surprised at how many bad reviews these things get. I think I got most of these for $80 or less. I've seen them go up as high as like 120, 130, and I've seen deals where you could probably get them for, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. 4 of these are the Muddy brand, and one of these is obviously Stealth Cam. I think these are all made at the same place. They definitely all support the Stealth Cam Command app. So as far as the guts on the inside, I think they're the same. The outer shell obviously is a little different. There's a few things about the Stealth Cam setup that are a little bit different that I guess I don't like as much. It's just stupid little things. We'll talk about here in a second. But like I said, so I've had most of these cameras 2 years. I've really had next to no problems with them. I think they take pretty good pictures compared to like a Tacticam. I mean, the more expensive cameras are going to have better features, take slightly better pictures. I'd rather save a little bit of money. I think these are an expensive investment, especially once you have several of them and you're paying for the monthly plan and everything like that. I do think when you do first get them, maybe 2 things that will make these a little bit more successful is one, well, let's make it 3 things. First of all, plan on having these things at your house running for 2 days before you take them out in the field. So what I would do, just try not to be in a rush. Give yourself 2 days. And the reason I say 2 days, these things are easy to turn on and program. There's a little QR code behind the battery pack. You scan that and it walks you right through it. The biggest issue with these cameras, and a lot of the reviews that I've seen that were negative, is all based around, in my opinion, the software update. So it's a little tricky, I guess. It's not even that bad, but when I get these things when they're at home, it's the first chance I can on the app, I manually hit the update and I force an update on the spot. There's been a couple that it almost seems like if you miss that in the prompt, just trying to remember back to the last time I did this, you can also prompt it to just do an update at whatever time like your daily picture is or whatever the next day. But I would recommend basically a day and a half, 2 days at your house, in your yard, on your porch, whatever you got going on, and let it do the update and then walk past it. Walk past it a few times. If you're new to cell phone cameras or cellular trail cameras, you don't always get the picture immediately. I mean, most of the time you do. But if it's cloudy, out on the farm where these things go, there's days I got full service, there's days I got 1 bar. And that's just the way the cell phones are out there. If I go real far down in a valley, I may have 0 bars on these, but I'll still manage to get pictures off them. It may not be 100% of the time right when the picture's taken. But anyways, yeah, so give yourself a day and a half, 2 days. Force the software update and make sure that happens. In my opinion, once that happens, everything's fine. On one of these, and it probably was the 4th one I got right here. I think this 4th one was the one that I did call their customer support. And I've seen bad reviews on that too. And honestly, I don't think I've ever called a customer support line you know, for anything that's sold in major box store locations. I mean, you can get these. I've seen these at Lowe's, I think. Lowe's, Home Depot. I'm sure Walmart has them. Cabela's, Bass Pro has them. They're everywhere. Again, set your expectations. Be realistic. So I called their technical support line. I probably sat on hold for 10 minutes, 15 maybe. And when I got the girl, you know, we walked through. She had me read a few numbers off the back or somewhere. And she was able to manually reset it on her end. And again, this was in that first day of setup. I was having an issue. I think the update wouldn't complete or something. And she was able to reset it. And within 5 minutes, the thing was working, you know. So it is what it is. Like, you can't call these customer support lines and expect immediate service. I do think once I had her on the phone, I think she was helpful. I think she did her job good. I don't have anything negative to say about that. So yeah, give yourself some time, force the update, and then, in my opinion, I'm going to show you some settings that I found, and the settings that I'm going to show you, I've had no issues with. I know a couple other guys that have bought these kind of after me, actually, and kind of had questions or issues, and their cameras weren't working as well as mine. And I had them change their settings. I basically sent them a screenshot of my settings, and I think after that they were pretty happy. Okay, so as far as the setup, let me flip one of these over. So all these Muddies are the model MUD/ATW V4. I believe these are all the Manifest 2.0s. I could be wrong. And then the Stealth Cam one here is model STC/FATWX V2. So if you're looking like specifically, I might be wrong about a little bit of the stuff as far as, you know, what megapixel these are. I know this, I always set these into 8 megapixel for the pictures. On the settings, they'll go higher. As far as construction goes on these, I think they hold up good. I've had a lot of cameras over the years that either seem to kind of get some moisture inside of them or something like that. I haven't had any of those issues. I did clean these up just barely, basically with a paper towel. But I mean, these things were out for, you know, probably close to an entire year, most of them. I'd say these two down here, I think I got them during early archery. But the rest of these things, I think I put them out probably June or July of 2020, and it's June 2nd right now of 2023. I just took them down 2 days ago. The one thing that really impressed me that I actually can't believe is that all of these ran the same batteries from about mid-October. It was like just getting into the good part of archery. I did one last battery swap, and these things ran. I had 2 die. So I had one of them, which was, I think, this one. I think the newest 2 are the ones that probably have gave me the most issue. I had one that died. I think it was mainly probably just where it was in the woods. I think it was getting lots of pictures of a plant that was in front of it that was my fault, and just wore the battery out. And then the Stealth Cam one lasted probably until about March. And that one probably was the most exposed as far as wind and elements. But yeah, I think that one lasted till March, and then the batteries kicked out. The rest of these I turned off the cellular part of the plan end of March, beginning of April, somewhere in there. And when I pulled these down 2 days ago and then checked the cards today, I still had pictures. It was still taking pictures just perfectly normal. Trigger speed seemed good. I mean, I think part of the issue that people run into with these is when the battery does get low, it doesn't seem to function as good, at least in cellular mode. I'd say one of the 2 issues that I'm going to bring up was one time one of these did stop taking pictures, including the daily picture, which I'll talk about later. and it still was firing every couple days, but I wasn't getting the daily every day. And the batteries, in my opinion, were just low. I went out and changed them, and might have checked the firmware, software update, whatever you want to call it. But other than that, like I really just, I think these are good cameras, in my opinion. For what I want them to do, they do everything I want them to do. I'm going into how long they lasted. So let's just see here real quick. The only recommendation I would have, those are Duracell. Let's check one more. The only recommendation I would have as far as batteries, I'm no battery expert, and nor do I care to look into it that much. I would just stick with name brand batteries. So these are Energizer, Duracell. Who knows, maybe the Duracell ones, they look kind of fancy compared to what I think they normally look like. Maybe those were like premium batteries, but I would just go with name brand ones. So, you know, I know some different people mess around with the rechargeable ones and this and that and whatever, and who cares? Honestly, it's just, now comparing these two, obviously you have a couple cosmetic differences. Now, I get these, all of mine are AT&T cameras. That's the kind of phone that I have, and for my area in Western PA, I think it's, you know, better than Verizon. I have a Verizon work phone. Verizon seems to work better in the city. AT&T for me seems to work better in the country. As you can see though, they are pretty much the same camera. Now, I am going to be a little bit biased for a second here, and I think this dates back to the early 2000s. I don't know, somewhere 2005 to 2009, but the old basic trail cams. I tried stealth cams back then, hated them, had a ton of issues with them, and I know that these are all probably stealth cam, but something about this one camera out of my 5 that I have sitting here, it's my least favorite camera. So I don't know if I'm just biased. I don't know if, honestly, just seeing that thing in the front's giving me some kind of PTSD flashbacks or what, but out of the 5 cameras, this one does seem to be my least favorite. I do think that it does take slightly worse pictures than the other ones. But so you got the basic cosmetic differences. The other thing that I've noticed, and this is like stupid little things, and again, I'm just being nitpicky. These are things that kind of, who cares, right? But the setup between these two, both of these have SD cards in them right now. This stealth cam one is a lot harder. I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. A lot harder to get that out. I can't get that out. Let me try this one here real quick. Maybe I'll prove myself wrong one-handed. Nope, comes right out. The 3 times I've gone to take that camera card in or out, I've struggled. I had to get like a pen to get it out. Now, the only other thing that I've noticed, and this might be possibly my Muddies are just older, but the stealth cam had a SIM card that actually had to be inserted, and the placement for that, again, was horrible. I don't know if they put that on there as maybe like an anti-theft kind of idea or whatever. I had a heck of a time getting that thing in. Just, I kind of felt like I was going to break it to get it in there. I guess it is probably like a one and done sort of thing. Like, I don't know why you would take those out. Maybe there is a reason. But on all of my Muddies, I don't have that. I didn't have a external SD card. See, that one doesn't have it. You can kind of see that little spot. That one doesn't have it. I'm not going to open them all up. But yeah, so the rest of this video, I'll show you my setup real quick on how I usually set these things up out in the field. And then we're going to kind of go through, I'm going to show you the settings that I use for these cameras. This is how I set up most of my cameras a lot of the time, especially if I'm on a field edge or in a food plot. As you can see, this is even below waist height. It's probably hip height on me. This is just an El Cheapo T-post you can get for a couple bucks. And basically just tighten it on there loosely. And then the one thing I do is take the extra strap and just wrap it on the antenna, because birds like to land on these and fold them down. But never had any issues. I do just make sure that the camera's flat, and I find that's a good height, you know, as far as getting pictures for deer. All right, let's go into the command app and check out some of my settings. All right, we're just gonna pick a random camera here. We're gonna go into camera setup. Okay, as you can see, time zone, Eastern, time format, 12-hour, operation mode, PIR photo, PIR delay. Okay, this is one I definitely changed. I changed that to 0.3 seconds. Photo resolution, we have that set in 8 megapixels. That's what I have all mine set in. Some of mine do go as high as 26. This is one of my older cameras, I'm guessing. Photo burst, I have that set to 2 photos. I really prefer at least 2 photos. Reduced blur, I have that set to standard. Temperatures Fahrenheit, DVR modes off. Operating hours always on. I need to double check. I may have had that turned on. No, I didn't. Okay, so I have that set off, and then I have the information bar on. Okay, some of the cellular settings, we're going to click on that. And I have new photo notifications on, transmit files on, upload frequency. Right now, this was when I turned them off after late season. I set them to only send once per day. It was just becoming too much, and at that point, I was kind of over it for the year. Throughout the seasons, I set it to instant group. Upload time, I chose 9 a.m. just based on fall. You know, I figured by 9 a.m. the sunlight would be good each day, and that just gives me a chance to verify that no weeds are in the way or trees and the camera's still in place and all that stuff. Okay, like I said earlier, this is an AT&T network. It's just the best service I have for the area. And as you can see, last sync was April 2nd, 2023. And then the camera software, I'm assuming once I turn this back on, I'll probably will have a camera software update. All right, next we're going to look through some different photos just so you can get an idea of the quality. I chose this photo because it was a nighttime photo. The deer is standing in that picture. The grass is high. And he's probably 25 feet at least away from the camera. It's a little hard to tell, but I did go back and walk to where he was the following day. Okay, I chose this picture next because honestly, I think this is like a perfect representation of what I would say a cheaper trail camera photo comes out to be during the daytime, at least. As you can see, I'm able to zoom in, get a pretty rough idea on the deer. The photo is a little blurry, so this was 7:51 p.m. Should have still been plenty of light out for that time in August. And what I have to say is, you know, I did get closer pictures of this deer as he was walking with the 2-round bursts. This is just one example, but you know, deer like this one, he is slightly deformed on the one side. So I was able to figure out who he was, you know, in other pictures and stuff like that and get better shots of him. One other thing I want to note real quick is hopefully I don't lose video quality whenever these are uploaded to YouTube, which is probably going to happen. I seem to lose some quality. I'm still really just trying to figure out how to do that kind of stuff without, you know, losing the proper quality that I have. But Just take my word for it, I guess. Like, these photos are pretty clear. This one's a little bit, just on a little bit side blurry. Okay, the next one here, this was part of 4 pictures. All 4 of them actually came out great. Again, that's why I used 2 round bursts. So this deer's probably only maybe 6 feet in front of the camera right now, and he was walking. So I think this was the second picture I got of him, and then the third and fourth were still in frame too. The first one, just his head was in frame. But you can see, I mean, any camera that close is gonna take nice pictures. I did send this over to some friends though, and on a couple different times when I did that, the first question I got was, "What camera is that?" And I mean, just to kind of compare a little bit, these are Tacticam camera guys, so their video or picture quality is good, but you know, sometimes this thing is comparable to their quality. Okay, different camera, different setup. This is more in the fall. I would say the deer's probably about 12 feet in front of the camera in this picture. It is probably just starting to get a little bit dark that time of year. So again, not a bad picture. With that picture, I also got this one here, 2 round burst. So I actually think in the first picture, that deer's moving a little bit more than he seems. I think it looks like he's kind of just standing there, but I think he actually is moving along fairly decently. Okay, next 2. These were actually right after these pictures. So that was 5:42. This is 5:45. So these 2 cameras were about 100 yards apart. So that deer traveled about 3 minutes, 100 yards in 3 minutes. So I think he is moving at a somewhat decent pace. This was the first picture I got. So you can see about how long it took to trigger the picture. And this is probably about 6 feet in front of him, in front of the camera, maybe 8. And this was the second picture I got. So very pleased with the picture timing and sensor on both of those. All right, we're going to take a look here. These 3 are out of order for some reason when I saved them, but this is a nighttime photo. It does get a little foggy up there. So again, this is November. This is almost midnight. So he's walking past the camera. The camera's on a little T-post. This was the first picture I got. Second picture. Third picture. Now, I would say in that third picture, he's easily at least 25, maybe 30 feet away already. You can still see clarity. I did have one more photo with the second 2 round burst after this one, and right immediately after this one, he started going to the left behind that brush. So I didn't save that. I did save this one because the picture was good enough so I could count points. That time of year, I was just trying to see if he was getting busted up. All right, a couple more here. These are of some coyotes. That one coyote on the left, I did get several pictures of him in a row. The coyote behind him, however, was moving pretty quickly. So in this 2 round burst, I got a picture of him right there in the back. And on a second 2 round burst, I got basically just his tail. So that second dog was moving pretty good. Okay, some turkeys. This is actually after I turned the cell plan off. So these were just regular manually triggered on the SD card. So as you can see here, that's the first picture we got of the turkey. Second picture, third picture, and then I didn't save the fourth. Okay, another camera here, a little further out. And so I would say that this is great quality. I mean, I couldn't be too much happier with the quality there. This is at 8 megapixels. Now you can see that's camera 2. This is camera 3. There does seem to be the slightest bit difference between cameras. So camera 3, that bird is further out and everything, but these pictures are a little bit blurrier. But again, trigger speed and everything, very happy with it. And I just had to throw these in because I was really excited about these. But Camera 3 again, this was 5/22/23, so not very long ago. We got some pictures of a mom and some cubs coming through. So pretty cool. I would definitely say, you know, for Western PA where we live, we do see bear occasionally, but it's not a regular thing. So it's always exciting when you get a new animal on camera. Okay, that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you did find this all useful. So just a quick recap. Like I said earlier, I think these are good cameras. I think you have to have reasonable expectations. They do need to fit your needs and your budget. So these are more of on the cheaper end. There are way nicer cameras out there that are more expensive with more features. One feature that I don't think I did talk about in this video, mainly because I'm not interested in it, is these cameras are not capable, at least to my knowledge, of taking videos. So these are just picture cameras, but that's what I like. I personally don't like having to sort through the video files. They are nice, but you know, when you get leaves and squirrels and you get 80 videos you got to go through, you know, it's not really what I'm into. But yeah, have a reasonable expectation. And like I said, these things do everything I want them to do. I got the trigger times down to where I want. I think the distance we'll say the distance from the camera to the animal's good. I think any further back, and it doesn't matter what camera you have, it's not really going to be that useful. The battery life on them, I mean, can't complain about that. Those batteries lasted a long time, and we're still getting, you know, hundreds of pictures a week, if not maybe thousands at times. I mean, it's no joke. We have so many deer that just will lay in front of the cameras. We have turkeys, foxes, coyotes, squirrels, and then plants. I mean, I don't have a shortage of pictures. So, you know, all those things, that's just why I like these. That, and at this point, I really don't want two different camera apps. So the simplicity of it, yet again. But if you have any questions or comments, please comment in the comment bar. If you did find this video useful, please like and subscribe. Thanks for checking out this video, and I hope you tune in again for future material. Thanks.